DJ Reed 2.0. Today, I'll be talking about why Tre Brown brings that dog back to the Seahawks defense. Josiah.
Yeah.
Roll the clip.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the.
My name's Calvin-Domingo, aka SteezyBandz, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for a brother, show us some love, join the family, join the team. Don't forget to also drop us a like, leave a comment down below on your thoughts about the selection of Tre Brown in the 4th round by the Seattle Seahawks. And last but not least, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at SteezyBandz to keep up to date with the latest in the sports world. And last but not least, actually, if you want to cop yourself an exclusive and a limited edition Team Steezy hat, such as this one, comment down below or send us a DM on Instagram. Tell us what size you want, what color you want, and what type of hat you want, and we'll be sure to fulfill some of those orders for y'all. Without further ado, you're tuning to SteezyBandz, and let's get to cooking. In looking at some of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, most people bring up Jair Alexander of the Green Bay Packers. Other people bring up Tre'Davious White of the Buffalo Bills. Now, aside from being elite at their respective positions, what else do these two have in common? The fact that they're both under 6 feet tall. And I'm not going to say that Tre Brown is going to reach some of the heights that those two have reached in the NFL, but that only goes to show that it's not a prerequisite to be over 6 feet tall to be successful as a cornerback in the NFL. Look back at last season, DJ Reed for the Seahawks, he didn't fit the mold of a typical Seahawks cornerback, yet even at 5'9", 190 pounds, he excelled for the Seahawks down the stretch, which maybe prompted the draft of Oklahoma's Tre Brown in the 4th round, whom many were very surprised. And looking at some of the measurables of Tre Brown from Oklahoma, well, he's just about 5'10", 190 pounds. He runs a 4.4 40, and so that indicates that he's one of the fastest at his position, at least in entering the NFL draft among other cornerbacks. He's very physical. He loves playing man-to-man. He loves to press at the line of scrimmage, and he played against some of the best competition in all of college football, playing in the Big 12. Last season, he was a second-team all-conference selection in the Big 12. He had 3 interceptions and only 10 games played, and in his entire career at Oklahoma, he had over 31 pass breakups, and he had 4 total INTs. I mean, what is there not to like about this dude? Not only does he provide value on defense as a cornerback, obviously, he provides value on all phases of special teams. He could be your team's kick returner, he could be your punt returner, or he could be the gunner in punt coverage. And how many players in the NFL can you name that prize themselves on special teams? Yes, you could look at some of the players that are exclusively only playing on special teams, but in a guy like Tre Brown, you have a guy that's excited to play in all phases of the game. Defense, special teams, you get the same physicality, the same tenacity, and the same passion, and the same dog in Tre Brown. And so not too often do you find guys like him, guys that are playing bigger than their size, guys that love to compete, and guys that love to hustle. And while some of the knacks on him might be the fact that, yes, he's undersized, but also the fact that he was very penalty prone. He led all of college football, if I'm not mistaken, in total penalties in the last couple of seasons in terms of pass interferences and holdings. But not too many of those I feel like are not fixable. And what I mean by that is if he's surrounded by a great coaching staff, if he's developed correctly and with guidance from a coaching staff such as the Seahawks, well, then I think he'll be fine at the very next level, seeing as how a lot of those penalties were because of his lack of size and the fact that he just wasn't able to keep up with some of those guys. But then again, when you're 5'10", 190 pounds, well, it's kind of hard to keep up with guys that are over 6 feet tall. And so some of those things can most definitely be fixed at the next level. Typically, the Seahawks look for cornerbacks that are over 6 feet tall and have an arm length of over 32 inches. And while Tre Brown doesn't fit that at 5'10", and while he has arms of just about 30 inches, well, he does make up for it in his ability to help out in run support, and his feistiness, and his dog-like demeanor, and in the fact that his short area quickness and his supreme athleticism is able to help him in keeping up with some of the best receivers in the game. Not only that, he's one of the best at covering opposing wide receivers and at blanketing other wide receivers. And in looking at what his former defensive coordinator at Oklahoma had to say, well, Tre Brown also has a knack in showing up in big moments. The first thing that comes to mind are some big plays on one of the premier college football programs in the country. You're talking about some of the biggest stages in our sport. Now, some of those plays that Alex Grinch was referring to Well, those weren't just any ordinary plays. Some of those plays were game-altering, game-sealing, and game-winning plays. Think back to last season's Big 12 championship game. He pretty much sealed the deal with an interception over Iowa State with 1:05 left on the clock. The year before that against Baylor, this is for all my DK Metcalf fans out there. Well, he had a chase down of a potential go-ahead touchdown after a 78-yard catch and run in which the Sooners eventually won by 3. And in 2018, he had a fourth quarter sack of Sam Ehlinger to help the Sooners win over the Texas Longhorns. Not only that, in today's NFL game, well, you also need guys that are shifty and that could cover guys in the slot. And while Tre Brown was almost exclusively spending most of his time on the outside, he can provide value on the inside, and he's versatile enough to be able to do so. And in looking at Seattle's cornerback room, well, there's going to be lots of competition. We're talking about DJ Reed, Akella Witherspoon, Pierre Desir, Demarius Randall, Tre Brown himself, among others. And so he does have a lot of competition, but I have no doubt in my mind that Tre Brown is ready for it. He's a dog. And at the end of the day, the other 31 teams in the NFL draft that passed up on him is going to regret it. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of the selection of Tre Brown in the 4th round? Do you think that the Seahawks reached, or did they find a diamond in the rough? Comment down below. And while that concludes this video, we got loads of other content for you guys. We have draft profiles coming in the next couple of days of... Next, we have Stone Forsythe of Florida. And then we're also going to cover some of the undrafted free agents that Seattle picked up. Nothing but love, and Steezy out.